Hey folks, Poverty Point Customs here. What we're going to do today is an oil and filter change on my AGT Industrial Lrt23. So what you're going to need is coffee, good old Tim Hortons. On the manual, the engine oil is calling for 1.6 liters at a 10W30 rating for our temperature. So I'm going to be using Mobil 1 10W30 full synthetic. I have a Fram oil filter, pH 4967. I cross-reference this with what's on the track loader right now. A 10 millimeter socket as well. I'm going to be using an oil extractor pump. It's going to make it a little easier and cleaner to get the oil out. So I'm going to open up the hood. All right, with the hood open, there's your oil filter. So below your oil filter is your drain plug. So we're actually not going to need that. We're going to use the oil extractor pump. What we're going to do first is take off the 6 bolts holding on the back cover. All right, so with the back cover off, that's where we're actually going to put the oil in. That's your oil fill. On the left side, there's your fuel filter. I'm going to wait and change this in a couple hours. This is brand new. This might have maybe 20 minutes on it. And again, you can see your oil drain plug right there. As well, on the right side is your dipstick right in there. It's a little hard to get to. So before we drain the oil, I'm going to let this run for a few minutes to warm up the engine and oil. All right, so this has been running for a few minutes. It's nice and warm. So we're going to remove the fill cap. And again, this says no oil. I checked it and it did have oil in it. It was probably just below the full. Now again, we don't know what type of oil this is shipped with. And I'm going to haul out the dipstick. Now I just want to note too, for down the road, you can actually get little extensions that go into where the drain plug is at. And I'll probably buy one of those. You can get them on Amazon where it screws into there, has a hose, and then you can drain it into a pail or whatnot. However, I do have the oil extractor, so we're going to use that. So I'm going to plug the oil extractor into actually the battery for the skid steer. And we're going to take the short, skinny end, and this is going to go in the dipstick hole end, and the other end's going to go into the little measuring cup there. All right, so we have the hose into the dipstick location. So we're going to turn on the pump. It's going to suck the old oil out, and it's going to go right into the measuring cup, and we'll take a look. There is a little bit of new oil in there from the last oil change. All right, I'm gonna have to drain this. There's the first liter, and you can see how kind of grayish, brownish color this oil is. And doesn't appear to be any metal in that. This is just the oil, how it looks in Chinese equipment. Again, I've done this on mini excavators and whatnot, and they all come out looking the exact same. So we're gonna drain this out and keep draining. All right, so I would say we got about 1.25 liters out now. Don't forget the oil filter still has oil in it too. And the manual does state it takes 1.6 liters, so we've got a good amount out. So next we're gonna take out the oil filter. So I'm gonna put a cloth or something underneath of it to catch any oil that spills out. And I'm not gonna be the first one to say that these are on tight, like super tight, that they're almost welded. I've tried this here for getting it off. I tried some pliers, so I may end up resorting to the old screwdriver through the filter. So here's the old oil filter. You can see some of the damage it took. So you just want to compare your new oil filter to make sure everything lines up, that they're the exact same size and same screw in. So I'm gonna put some oil around the gasket. We're gonna clean around here where the oil filter screws on, get that nice and clean. I'm going to pre-fill this by putting a little bit of oil in it. I know it screws in, but a little bit of the oil will stay in the filter itself. So let's get this installed. All right, so the new oil filter is installed. Don't over tighten this. There's no reason why this should have been that tight. So because the fill location is in such an odd area, what we're gonna do is use the oil extractor actually in the reverse mode. So what we're gonna do is put the small end in our fresh oil, and the other end is gonna force the oil into the top of the engine. So we're gonna start off by putting a liter in. So this oil is cold, so it's going to take a little longer to put the oil in than when we were extracting it out. While we're waiting for this, good time for some coffee. Just want to show, if you don't have an oil extractor to put the oil in and take it out, you can put a couple funnels together or get one that bends, so you're able to get the oil in that way too. The oil extractor is kind of the lazy way to put it in. I'm going to put in the dipstick. All right, so I put roughly 1.5 liters in, so we're going to put in the oil fill cap. Screw that on nice and tight. And I've checked the oil level on the dipstick and it is showing full. However, we still need to fill the oil filter. What I'm going to do is run it for about 30 seconds. That will put oil in the oil filter and fill that up. Get oil circulating through the system, and then we're going to check the oil level again. Alright, just taking a look at the dipstick. I'm probably going to have to add about 1/10 of the liter, and we'll top that up. So I've checked the oil and topped it up. It took about 1.7 liters. So what we're going to do is reinstall the back cover. I also want to note, you always want to check around your filter for any leaks, and if you drain the oil through your drain plug, you want to check to make sure there's no leaks there either. Alright, so the oil and filter's all changed. I double checked the oil level, checked the filter to make sure there's nothing leaking. This is also a good time to go around your machine and grease any of the grease fittings. Check your track tension as well. When the back cover was off, you can check your air filter and your fuel filter. Just note that this did come with a spare fuel and air filter, which was nice. And this is the cheapest preventive maintenance you can do on these, and it literally costs maybe less than $20 by the time you get the oil, which was under 2 liters, and an oil filter, which was around $8. So hopefully the next video is going to be actually using this and spreading some gravel. As well, I'm actually looking at another one of these on auction site with a little larger bucket, and if I don't pick that one up, I'm going to go online, and there's a place that's selling new buckets for these. They're roughly $700 plus tax and shipping to get them here, but they are a lot higher quality bucket. So if I don't get the next machine at an auction with a larger bucket, and I'll swap the buckets, I'll pick up an aftermarket bucket for this. That one there is 32 inches, and it's way too small for this machine, especially this being around 42 inches in width. Leaves huge tracks in the gravel and you can't back drag it. Like always, I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, make sure to hit the thumbs up button. And like always, if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions for future videos, make sure you post them below. And that's just a sneak peek on one of the upcoming videos. Like always, thanks for watching. Take care.